So, this documentary really made me question what would I rather do. Would I rather fall onto thumbtacks or go through a flaming table? Neither option is appealing. So I'm going to say flaming table. Sure. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I'm Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about WWE Untold, Edge versus Mick Foley, WrestleMania 22 in a hardcore match. That's not the official title, but just I'll get with it. So for those of you who don't know, WWE Untold sort of tells stories behind classic moments in WWE's history, and I haven't actually dived into a lot of them. I might start watching a few more, but I saw this and I was like, how did I miss that? How did I miss that? That is, that match is in my top 5 matches of all time, and I've missed the documentary that literally talks about said thing, said match. Am I a fool? Am I a fake fan? Probably. But I was like, go on then, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look. And overall, I thought this was a really compelling documentary. Really sort of interesting insight into not just the match, but the circumstances surrounding the match, such as Edge's push beforehand, and even diving into some of like the old Mick Foley stuff from WCCW and his time in Japan, which I didn't think they'd address, but they do, because obviously it sort of pulls, the match itself pulls inspiration from some of the hardcore death matches in Japan and sort of the territory days. Now, what I thought was really good about this documentary is the insight that it gives into the match. So, for example, you've got a talking head from Edge, and you've got a talking head from Mick Foley, and you've got Lita in there as well. And it's a really good sort of view on how the match was put together, and how the main thrust, for example, is that Edge and Foley really want a, quote, WrestleMania moment, which is a phrase I don't like, but we will go with that. And it's shocking to think that up until that point, I believe, I want to say 2006, I might be wrong, Mick Foley had not had that. He's had all these incredible moments, such as, obviously falling off the cell, King of the Ring. He had the match with Triple H at the Royal Rumble, and the match with The Rock as well. But he's had all these moments, but none of them have taken place on that grand stage, and this was his opportunity to do that. And the way he wanted to do that was via a hardcore death match, which, yeah, that's one way to get yourself known. And the match itself is phenomenal. I love the match, but there's just so many little intricate bits and details that this documentary gives you, such as the inclusion of the barbed wire element around Mick Foley, similar to the Goldberg Bret Hart situation from WCW. You've got how the match was nearly cancelled, well, not cancelled, stipulation changed due to the Shawn Michaels Vince McMahon match, which took place later on the card. And these details just really flesh out the match as a whole. That's why I think this Untold series is actually really good. I really enjoyed it, I really did. I don't want to go into too much detail, because obviously it's a 40-minute documentary and I don't want to spoil every single detail, go into every single detail. But I'd highly recommend checking this out if you haven't. It seemed more produced than the older WWE Untolds that I've seen, and maybe this is a new push that WWE doing with like the Icon series and the documentary about SmackDown after 9/11, sort of this WWE documentaries thing. They seem to be putting a lot into them, and I think it's really paying off, because some of the results are really good, and it's some of the best supplementary material that you can get for WWE. I think this is where they should focus, less about, goofy nonsense. We get rid of main event. Do we need main event? Do we need 205 Live at this point when people on there aren't 205? Okay, calm. But I'd highly recommend checking this out. I would highly recommend this Untold. I think it's really, really great if you love the match. I don't know how I'd enjoy this if it was, say, for a match that I haven't seen, or one that I don't remember too fondly. Would I have enjoyed it as much? But for someone who is a die-hard fan of this match, I loved it. I really loved it. It's 5 out of 5 for me. Maybe that's biased because I love the match, but hey ho, this is my channel. Yes, thank you all ever so much for your support. It's been a bit rambly, but with my reviews I don't really structure them. I just want to give you my straight thoughts after watching something. But yes, let me know your thoughts on this documentary down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.